The first text message of the day says, did the Big 12 even have a media day or was it canceled? They did. It was last week. No, they opened up. Sorry. It was 2 weeks ago at this point. Remember that July, a different conference went each week, which was different and new. Normally normally media days were a week and a half long, where everybody crammed it together. First week in July, it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Big 12. Last week was ACC, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This week, dun, 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 the big gorilla, the SEC, is Monday through Thursday. And with the Big 12, this was the calmest because they didn't announce an initiative in Mexico. They didn't announce they're doing glass basketball courts that didn't even last the first day. They didn't announce, their biggest announcement was the embarrassing Monster Energy drink for patches on players and courts logoing thing where each team's getting like $800K. That was their biggest announcement, and it was horrifically embarrassing. The other announcement was Texas Tech did a NIL stadium deal, and they're now playing at Galaxy Field, which I hate to admit is kind of a cool name. That's it. It's one of the calmer. The teams themselves, they only have two teams of note, and one of them's boring as hell. And that's BYU. And Texas Tech, wouldn't talk about the only drama. They had no commenting on Sorsby. What else is there to talk about? So, yes, they did. Now, SEC Media Days, day 2, currently in progress. Auburn, Georgia, first half, break for lunch, come back with South Carolina, Vanderbilt. That is the schedule for today. Looking back on yesterday, nothing necessarily earth-shattering. The boss of day 1 was Will Stein, Kentucky. And it was just one comment, one quote, one sentence. He just kind of was asked about why he thought he could win at Kentucky. Why could he win big? Why is Kentucky going to win? And he even paused for just a brief moment. And he said, I think because of me, to be honest. You think about the answers. Why is he going to win big at Kentucky? And that's not the history of Kentucky. I think Olin has said a time or 20, like Kentucky's had 7 wins or less, like, is it 25 of 30 years or something absurd? Kentucky's not a football school. They don't commit to it that way. They don't have that NIL. My understanding, the facilities don't match. Why is he going to defy not just history, but reality, I think is a fair statement than saying history with Kentucky football. His answer, I think because of me, to be honest. I don't think there's any greater answer. Almost anything else he could have tried to have given would have rung hollow and false or even delusional. He's not going to say, well, the great recruits in the state of Kentucky. He's not going to say the great support of our fan base and administration. None of it could have just played or been believable. It just would have made him sound delusional, a robot, or you get it, right? I think because of me, to be honest. If I'm an alum, a fan, donor, anyone involved with Kentucky, if I'm a potential recruit, that's paper mache wall, whiskey bottle break, and puppy punching material right there. That's just something, if I'm a player heading into the season, that sells. And I mentioned the Curt Cignetti moment. Do you remember, I believe it was when he was introed, like his intro press conference in Indiana, from the bat, he told people, Google me. And well, national championship later at Indiana. Ain't nobody needing to Google him, right? He's just a winner. And Will Stein, no idea what he's going to do at Kentucky. I have a feeling if he's overly successful, he won't be there long enough to win big. But his pedigree is insane. That's the thing about him. But that was your big winner. That was the boss of day 1 with, I think because of me, to be honest. You can buy that. Other notes from day one, pretty tame. John Mateer was a player that stood out for OU. And one of the things that I am making a mistake in myself personally when thinking about OU offense, John Mateer, is giving him no credit for possibly growing from year 1 to 2. His first year in the SEC. If others are possible to grow from year 1 to 2, why can't he? And the offensive coordinator for Washington State is the biggest wild card. He just went through a whole season in the SEC. What has he learned? Because he's been a genius at every stop he's been at. That's kind of a truth. What has he learned from a full year? So if he, who's been hailed as a genius, goes exponential growth, which is what geniuses do, and Mateer has grown, which I'm not a fan of Mateer at all. I think he throws like line drive scuds. I mean, he just throws these missiles. But if both of them just do the one off season better, but the OC, Arbuckle, who's, again, quite brilliant, he'll do more than one. He would go exponential. OU's offense could move to the good enough category. And then with their defense, OU's a scary monster. But I'm giving OU no credit for the possibility to improve on offense because I was right about their offense last year. I was right the whole time. But I'm not getting, and that's my mistake. If we look up and they finish year 11-1, it'll be like, Lou, you're an idiot. You ignored something obviously possible. And John Mateer talked about, lessons learned. Josh Heupel, Tennessee, spoke yesterday. He put forth the impact of Jim Knowles. Yesterday we had Brett Ciancia. Pick 6 previews. Man, the magazine is epic. He was great. He's going to be on with us next Monday. And then in August, he'll be joining us again, too. Next Monday, we'll preview the rest of college football. Then in August, college football predictions, including the playoff. But anyway, Jim Knowles is a highly respected, generally speaking. I don't know if he's the bottom of S tier, top of A tier. He's been at Duke, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, Penn State. And the debate with the conversation, Heupel said they expect him to make a quick impact. The problem is history says that all his defenses kind of step back in year 1 because he has to implement. Then his defense takes hold after year 1. So I went and found, and A&M plays Tennessee, so it's relevant to my mind. When he was at Duke, first year, defense stepped back 6 spots. When he went to Oklahoma State, defense stepped back 3 spots. Now, his first year at Ohio State, they were 2 spots better. And when they were at Penn State, they were 4 spots worse. So, well, actually, I'm saying that incorrectly. It's 4 points. The actual impact, I need to correct. At Duke, no, that's close enough. Points. Just the average point margin per game. So at 3 of the 4 stops in year 1, he did not make them better. That's a fact. And that's not an attack. That's not saying long term he won't be the greatest hire in Tennessee football history. But facts do not support him making a great impact in year 1. Now, maybe, and Tennessee has tons of talent on defense, which is odd when you consider Heupel and he's an OC in his recruiting, but they do. That's a fair statement. But it doesn't seem to be Knowles' MO, and to expect this to be the difference in the only 1 year out of his 4 first-year jobs that he did, he made them only 2 points a game better. So it wasn't this great impact. And that's just kind of the reality. That's just kind of the reality of Jim Knowles. Why would this, his fifth first time head, DC job be different? Why is Tennessee the chosen one special? I can't answer that. I know for me, the way I tend to approach things is go with what the numbers tell you. Why do you expect this to be the one? You make a lot of money in Vegas by betting the trends and not saying, well, this is the one time. In Jim Knowles' history, 3 out of 4 times his defenses were worse than they were before him in year one. Not a lot. Notice that all of this, except for the very first one, 6 points a game and 4 points a game is pretty bad difference in year one. I need to check myself on that. So day one at SEC Media Days, there wasn't a lot. Again, other than Will Stein, because of me. That was the moment. He's the front runner for quote of the week. We'll see we still got 3 days going, but still. There were some questions asked of these teams about A&M since all of them play them. To be fair, not a lot really said. Not a lot that was memorable. I kind of checked them all out. Gunnar Stockton, Georgia quarterback, was asked about Marcel, and his quote was, "Me and Marcel were roommates this past year." I shared yesterday when Drinkowitz was asked about A&M. Drinkowitz is a huge Marcel fan. And it made sense. I mentioned it yesterday even that if you take a look at the quarterbacks he's had recently that Marcel's kind of a prototype of what he wants in his quarterbacks. He would kill to have Marcel Reed. There's nothing really of note. All of them said we expect great things from A&M. It's the standard because it's funny. It would be news if you said they asked an opponent, what do you expect from A&M? And they go, they probably won't win 6 games. That would be a quote, but no one's going to call out opponent on their schedule in a media day, or not media day setting at all. Before the season. You talk about bulletin board material, right? That's not going to happen. So day one and today, 11:35 Kentucky Will Stein, 12:35 Brett Venables OU, and at 1:35 Eli Drinkowitz Missouri. You'll hear their opening statements, main room, part of the Q&A from the reporters. We can't hear everything they said because when they go main room, they talk and talk. Up next, though, it's our weekly check-in with Uri Geva, owner of the Brazos Valley Bombers. He'll join us on the D4 Land Services hotline, like most guests do, because they don't live next door to me. This is the Louie Bellina Show. We're just getting started on a Tuesday. This is the Louie Bellina Show on The Zone.
Listen to The Zone at radioaguilan.com. Thanks to Loyalty Plumbing. The pros at Loyalty Plumbing are ready to serve you 24/7. Give them a call at 979-977-6117.
The Louie Bellina Show. I'm still sticking with it. The Tuesday edition. We're joined now, friend of mine, friend of the Bryan College Station, Brazos Valley, talking about the owner of the Brazos Valley Bombers, Uri Geva, joined us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Uri, am I right? Is this like the final week of the Bombers or the final week and a half of the Bombers?
Final week of the Bombers regular season. Right?
Holy cow.
This is the final week. This season feels like it just flew by. We just started. Home away from home in Navasota, short little drives down there, followed it up with a fun pop-up game in Brenham, back to Navasota, pop-up game in Caldwell, back in Navasota, and what a fun summer. It's just, snap your fingers and here we are. It is a little bit of a shorter timeline. Ever since the TCL took out the All-Star game a couple years ago, changed back to a 48-game schedule, 24 home, 24 away. Our schedule now has been more of a June, July, as originally intended when we first joined 20 years ago. It was a June, July schedule, and we're back to a pure June, July schedule. Mondays are off. Tuesdays are fun. Wednesdays are great. Thursdays are Thirsty Thursdays, thanks to the Zone, Whiskey Charlie's. We've still got dollar beer and select beers. It still exists. Unbelievable that we can still do that 20 years later. And dollar waters, of course, so you can stay hydrated. And that's the, and then you get to Fridays. We have fireworks, and Saturdays and Sundays, and back to another week. So, yeah, Louie, this is the last regular season week, and then playoffs next week. And, man, the Bombers are hot and a little cold, and then super hot and then a little cold. So we're still in first place in the second half, which is really all that matters. I think our magic number is like 3, if I'm not mistaken. We win a couple games, couple losses, and we clinch a playoff spot for a 20th consecutive season.
So the bad news, final week of the Bombers. The good news, you guys are home starting Thursday the rest of the week.
Yeah, so Thursday, like we talked about, thanks to the Zone, that's back this Thursday. Then we have Friday fireworks. It's also going to be a miracle treat day thanks to Smith's Dairy Queen, meaning that we'll have a custom jersey that we'll auction off. We'll have some fun with that. They always come up with some really good designs, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then it follows it up by a couple more games on Saturday and Sunday.
Now, Thirsty Thursday, remind everyone, what is that? Because we're like, wait a minute, we've been talking about it all summer long, but there's someone might have just moved to town. Maybe they didn't hang out with us on Tuesdays. What is a Thirsty Thursday?
Well, Thirsty Thursday is where the Bombers go out there, and this time we'll be playing the Acadiana King Cutters on Thursday night. But what's specifically fun about Thirsty Thursday is it's dollar beers all the way through that bad call that you have to say it's the last call for alcohol in the middle of the seventh. We say that 3 more outs, that's it for the night. But it is Thirsty Thursday, dollar beer and select beers, and dollar water to make sure our fans have an opportunity to stay hydrated, have a little fun, maybe volunteer to be the Dizzy Bat Race thanks to Premier Painting. We do a Dizzy Bat Race nowadays. It used to be the Dizzy Noodle. We're now with the official Dizzy Bat Race back on the field, and all the other on-field contests and all the fun with the kids zone and the bounce houses and Kaboom running around like a crazy man. And it's just a lot of fun. Community baseball, how it's meant. Wood bats, really good baseball. I mean, really good baseball. We had Brady Coe come out last week on Wednesday, and it's lights out. I mean, I think it was a no-hitter. Not a perfect game, but no-hitter through 5 innings, and he got pulled because his coaches haven't seen him pitch more than 4 innings his entire college career, and they're like, we're not going to let him pitch more than that. So we've got some great talent. Tiger, Tobias Motley just signed with Tennessee Westland, and just all kinds of great talent, complemented with dollar beers and lots of fun there on Thursday. And then, Louie, my favorite, I know it's your favorite. I think it's everybody's favorite. It's Friday fireworks.
Oh, Friday fireworks. Okay, the whole concept of fireworks, who doesn't love fireworks? But the way you guys do them, for those that don't know, they stop the game when it gets dark. And the players are on the field watching, everyone in the stands. That's so community. That reminds you it's so like minor league. I love everything about that.
Well, and what's crazy is people are like, oh, so fireworks are at the end of the game. And we're like, no, fireworks are around 9 o'clock. And they're like, oh, so that's the end of the game. I'm like, I don't know. Baseball, it's typically longer than 2 hours. And who knows how the baseball game is going to go. But we're going to shoot fireworks around 9 o'clock. So if you've got young kids, you got old kids, you got to be up early. You got to wake up super early on Friday and you're tired. You catch the fireworks. We turn the lights off around 9 o'clock, shoot the fireworks, and get back to baseball. So everybody that loves baseball and all the rest of the entertainment that we do, they get to stay and have fun. The folks that have to go to bed early or are tired because they have a long day, they get to still enjoy the fireworks. And it is the last fireworks show of the year. We are excited. And in Navasota, our home away from home, a short drive there on Highway 6, it's even greater than what it used to be because you're shooting not across a couple parking lots, not down the road. You're shooting it like literally right above everybody's heads out, outside the big wall. That's where you're shooting the fireworks, outside the outfield fence.
So we got Thirsty Thursday, dollar beer, dollar water, right? Dollar. Yeah. Affordable for the whole family. Fireworks Friday, but you're also home Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, home Saturday, Sunday, kids free Saturday, so they get to come in for free on Saturday night, and then Sunday we'll celebrate 20 years, do some fun stuff. I think we're still trying to get a celebrity at bat. It all depends, right? Because you don't want to lose an official bat to have a celebrity at bat. We are talking to one of the OG Bombers from 2007 to see if he can come out and be a celebrity at bat for us. So we'll share that on social media and on our website once it's official that he's coming out there. And at the end of the day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 games, lots of fun, lots of activities, lots of kids zone, and your last chance, man. Oh man, the summer's gone so fast. I haven't had a chance. This is your chance. This is a chance to come out, support the Bombers, have fun with your family, enjoy all the activities, enjoy ballpark food, and of course, watch the Bombers win as we prepare for the playoff, which hopefully next Tuesday, me and you are talking about playoff Tuesday as we take on the King Cutters in a 3-game series, or maybe it's the Victoria Generals that we take on in a 3-game series. We'll find that out throughout this week. and then Tuesday would be the first playoff game. It would be a home game in our home away from home this season in Navasota, and then we'd be on the road the following 2 games, maybe only one, and then a championship Saturday. Could be here, could be on the road. Who knows how the chips will fall in the playoffs for the Texas Collegiate League, but I'm excited about this team, man. When they get hot, it's hard to stop us.
There is no hopefully. We are talking about the playoffs next Tuesday. See, Uri, take that approach. There's no hopefully. Do or do not. There's no hopefully.
We're talking playoffs.
Playoffs? We are talking playoffs next Tuesday. If people would like to get tickets for Thirsty Thursday, Firework Friday, or celebrate the 20-year anniversary Sunday, they can go to bvbombers.com. bvbombers.com. So not only can they get their tickets online, but when you get your tickets online, you get a discount. The tickets are already affordable. The Bombers are not about, hey, family of 4, go take a loan. No, it's family affordable fun anyway. But then if you purchase your tickets online, you get a discount for buying your tickets online. You can check out the entire schedule, which this is the last week regular season, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's pretty easy to remember, but you can check out those schedule, bvbombers.com. You can purchase your tickets online, bvbombers.com.
Now, one of the cool things about this stadium is that we have a small berm where you can bring blankets or bring your own chairs and hang out in the right field. Great view of the field, great view of the fireworks, and those tickets are even more affordable. I want to say they're like $6 online or $7 at the gate, so definitely an affordable way for the family to come out, enjoy, bring the blanket, enjoy some baseball, enjoy some fun, enjoy Kaboom, enjoy some food, and then enjoy the fireworks on Friday night. And it is just an incredible show that they put on. We've been told it's better than a lot of different shows, but at the end of the day, it's just a Bomber show, and it's been great for 20 years on Friday nights, and it won't stop. And we are excited about all the fun announcements that will come right after the season for the 2027 season.
Outstanding. Uri, beat that out of everyone. Playoffs, we're talking next Tuesday, period. Dude, thank you always, man. It's a pleasure. You know how much fun it is.
Thanks for having me. Go Bombers.
Be awesome, dude. bvbombers.com. Go get your tickets online. Enjoy the discount. Need more info? bvbombers.com. Final week of the regular season is now Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday. And they're celebrating the 20th anniversary on Sunday. Up next, SEC Media Days. Will Stein, Kentucky. That's what's next on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric.
The Money Machine.
You are so money.
Back to school.
But you don't even know it.
Opens July 27th. Another chance to win $5K from The Zone.
But you do.
And the Louie Bellina Show.
It's the Louie Bellina Show. We just checked in with Uri Geva, owner of the Bombers. Straight up 12 o'clock, Joe Sheehan newsletter, all things MLB. 1 o'clock, Olin Buchanan, live from SEC Media Days. All join me on the D4 Land Services hotline. You need your land fixed up? D4landservices.com. Land cleared, land excavated? D4landservices.com. Land clearing, excavated? D4landservices.com. But it's time now. SEC Media Days roll on. All week long, we're going to listen into the coaches the Aggies will square off against in 2026. I don't know why we'd look at 28. This upcoming season, game 1, SEC play will be Kentucky. And Will Stein was the boss of day 1 because they got him. Here's Kentucky head coach Will Stein. Well, I mean, he is there. Trust me on this. Get to the podium, coach. This is my fault. Should have cued to him coming up, not the handshake. Here he is.
My wife is really good at pickleball, so she's beat my butt a few times for sure. But first and foremost, thank you, Commissioner Sankey, for that introduction, for your 11 years of leadership with the SEC. You've truly set the standard for service in this ever-changing landscape of college athletics. Before I get started, I do want to recognize my wife and acknowledge her and thank her for her constant support of me throughout this wild profession and this wild life that we live. Without her, none of this is possible. There's very little, if any, balance in college football and what we do. Her sacrifices allow me to live out my dream of coaching football for a living. So thank you. I love you. I also want to thank a few people back in Lexington. First is Mitch Barnhart. Mitch recently retired after 24 years of service to UK athletics. He is a true legend and a mentor, and he built championship culture at UK. He's also the man who brought me home, back to the Bluegrass, to live out a dream. I'm forever indebted to Mitch. I want to thank President Eli Capilouto for his university leadership and his vision towards the future. Susan Lax, right here up front, she's my right hand. She's our Senior Director of Athletics, Communications, and Public Relations. 29 years with UK Athletics. 29. She's been unbelievable to me. I'm very thankful for you, Susan, and how you have been taking care of me over the last 7 months. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with Jay Batt. He's our new athletics director and CEO of Champions Blue. Jay's going to do great things for Kentucky as college athletics continue to evolve. He's going to drive revenue. I'm really, really excited about working alongside Jay. I'm thrilled to represent Big Blue Nation as head football coach. As a Kentucky native, a kid growing up going to Commonwealth Stadium to watch the Cats, this is truly a dream come true to me. I am BBN. For 18 years of my life growing up, I was a member of Big Blue Nation. My dad played at Kentucky. My mom's a graduate. To come back to the Bluegrass State, being a fan himself of Kentucky football, Kentucky athletics, it's truly surreal. You know, these first 230 days have been a complete whirlwind. I'd be lying to you if I told you anything different. But we've constructed a roster with 45 new players, and 41 of these players have started at least one game in college football. I had to hire a brand new coaching staff and recruiting personnel department while also being the offensive coordinator at Oregon through a playoff run. We built a brand new $3 million weight room, state of the art. We installed new schemes for our players. We taught them how to practice, how to meet. And we put a really big emphasis on high school recruiting for this 27 class and beyond. But this is what I signed up for, and it's been really fun navigating these waters. I'm very excited to compete in the Southeastern Conference. This is where the best players and coaches come to play football. All 16 have a top 20 hardest schedule per ESPN. All 16. They say that I'm the fourth hardest. Okay? If you want to compete against the best, you come to the SEC. You just do. It's the closest thing to the NFL. It's proven. Almost every game comes down to the last possession. Home field advantage is real in this league, and I love it. Along with me today, I brought 3 outstanding players that represent our DNA of our team. First is junior tight end Willie Rodriguez. Willie's from Covington Catholic in northern Kentucky. Really excited about his growth over the last 6-7 months. This guy's an elite player. I think he's got the ability to be one of the best tight ends in the country. He was one of the players from last year's roster that we had to retain. It was a no-brainer. We could not afford to lose him. He can do it all. He'll be a feature player in our system. And off the field, he's committed to community service. He's a frequent visitor to Golisano Children's Hospital, UK, where he meets with kids in need, families in need of sick children. Fantastic person and player, and has an extremely bright future. Secondly, we brought junior quarterback Kenny Minchie. Kenny's from just outside Nashville in Hendersonville, Tennessee, went to Pope John Paul High School, came to us from 3 years at Notre Dame. I've been really impressed with Kenny since he got here. He's somebody that feels like he's been in our system for a long time. He's got elite processing skills, a high football IQ. He's very accurate, and he has the athletic ability to make plays with his feet. He's also a natural leader. He's got great poise, great communication skills. This will be his first starting job. He knows that, I know that, you all know that. But I know he's going to be ready because of how he prepares in the classroom and on the field. Lastly, but not least, senior safety Ty Bryant. Ty's a hometown kid right from Lexington, Kentucky. Went to Frederick Douglass High School. He was second team All-SEC last season, led the league with 4 picks while also making the Dean's List. He was another player from last year's team I had to keep. Do everything I can to keep Ty Bryant. He represents Kentucky football to the fullest. It is in his DNA. He's a natural leader, shows up every day, ready to work. He's almost like a coach on the field for us. It's kind of funny. Fun fact, our dads played together at Kentucky. So I don't know if that's how young I am or if that's how old maybe Ty's dad is. I don't really know. But Cisco, love him, and glad that his son plays at Kentucky as well. But Ty's got a bright football future, and when he's done with football, which hopefully he has a long career in the NFL, I'm sure he'll be out there with Media Row working in media. But I'm very excited about this team. We've laid a really strong foundation, and our players have embraced the work. The DNA that we've built within Kentucky football centers around connection. As a coaching staff, the first thing that we had to do, was develop a real connection with these players. A connected team is a dangerous team. They typically play the longest, the hardest, or hardest, the longest. Our guys needed to get to know each other. They had to. They needed to know that their coaches had real investment in them as people. They needed to feel a coaching staff that actually likes coaching with each other. That's huge. And they needed to feel connection to Big Blue Nation, to our fans, and see how passionate they are. I really believe we built a strong connection up to this point, and we will continue to grow together throughout the season. This is going to be a tough program. Football is the toughest game played by tough men. It's physically demanding and mentally exhausting. But guess what? Life is tough too. And the one thing I refuse to be is soft-minded. I understand, I've already accepted myself that there will be tough moments this season. There always are, in every year that I've ever coached. Our response as our team will dictate the outcomes. I cannot wait to fight adversity with this group. Our process on the field also centers around accountability. Do your job. It takes all 11 being on the same page in all three phases for us to maximize success. We first have to learn to not beat ourselves as a team. That's number one. That takes elite focus and preparation. So far, our players have done a great job learning our system and our scheme and how we practice. That accountability extends to the classroom too, something I'm really proud of. Our players posted the highest team GPA in program history this past spring. In a world where we've added 45 new players to UK football, it's my job as head coach to get these players to play for the name on the front of their jersey. It's a selfish world. Our players must understand and be fully invested in sacrificing personal glory for team success. To wear the blue and white is an honor. To represent the Commonwealth and Big Blue Nation is a privilege that our players and coaches will not take for granted. My coordinators, Joe Sloan, Jay Bateman, Parker Fleming, along with my head strength and conditioning coach, Brandon Roberts, have all done a phenomenal job of instilling these DNA traits into every single player. Kentucky football has a cast of new characters, including me. What happened in the past has zero to do with the future. Our players and coaches have worked extremely hard up to this point to put a team on the field that Big Blue Nation will be proud of. It's my mission to create, develop, and maintain championship-level standards at the University of Kentucky. And like I said in my opening press conference, when I was hired, I didn't take the job to be closer to my family. I didn't take the job because my dad played at UK. I took the job to win, and to win at championship levels. Our process has to be elite from top down for that to happen. There's still tons of work ahead, but that's where you really found out what you're made of. We have 47 days until we kick off against a great opponent in Youngstown State. It's 1 p.m. in front of the best fans in college football. Inside Kroger Field. I'm excited, so excited about the 2026 Kentucky Wildcats. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
All right, thank you, Coach Stein. If you have questions, Tommy, Jalen, or Kalen will get to you. Tommy, come on up right here in the middle. Robert, right there in the middle. Straight in front of it.
Robert Cessna, the Bryan College Station Eagle. I'd like to know, what did you learn at Lake Travis to prepare you for where you're at today, and what maybe you learned about University of Texas football and maybe even Texas A&M?
Yeah, I mean, one of the great joys of my life was spending 2 years with Hank Carter at Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas. It taught me how to call plays. I was put in a situation where they had already won 6 titles, I believe, up to that point. A coaching staff that was veteran and seasoned, that knew what winning looked like, and they took a young 28-year-old know-it-all offensive coordinator in from the University of Texas into their staff. It taught me that you can be normal and still coach football. You can have a family. You can have a life outside of football when you can. That brotherhood is still a part of the coaching world that still exists. And so I'm forever grateful for my time at Lake Travis. Obviously being a Texas high school football coach for 2 years, it truly is religion in that state. Coached at Texas for 3 seasons and never got a chance to face off against Texas A&M, but we had our state qualifying or state tournament for 7-on-7 on A&M's campus, and just remember how giant their stadium was when I went over there, and got nothing but respect for that state, the football that's played in that state, and specifically Lake Travis.
Okay, we'll stay over in that same section right in the middle.
Jerry Humphrey III, AL.com. Coach, being one of 6 total newcomers in the SEC, what kind of separates you from the other new coaches in the conference, and what would you say is the best advice you ever got from Dan Lanning?
I can't speak on what anybody else is doing in our league. I'm really focused on us as a team, us as a program, building this thing the right way. But Dan is, one of the most consistent people I've ever been around. He's relentless in recruiting. He's a phenomenal coach. He's always growth mindset oriented, and there's a reason he's been really successful because of those attributes.
Okay, we'll go over to our right coach over on the far side.
Thanks. Hey, Coach, back here, Eddie Pels with AP. A lot of people in college football look over at Indiana. They see a massive turnaround there. You can pick what you want to answer, but does it take like having a Mark Cuban come dump a bunch of money into your program to get good real fast, or what do you think the ingredients are to making a huge turnaround?
There's a lot of factors in winning and losing at this level. I can't speak on Indiana specifically in terms of their processes or who they have backing them or how they recruit or coach, but I do know facing them twice last year, they were extremely disciplined. Coach Cignetti's obviously done a great job with the culture. They had the first overall pick playing quarterback for them. That helps. I think they had 8 other guys drafted, maybe 2 other guys in the first round. So you look back in the history of the winners of the national championship, they typically have the most guys drafted. Ohio State in 24 faced them. I think they had about 16 guys. Michigan the year prior had about 16. Georgia the year prior, the most. So when you have great players and you had a great culture and a coaching staff and scheme, typically good results happen.
Coach, we'll go over here on our left-hand side.
Hey, Will, Chip Brown with Horns 24/7. You had a couple transfers from Texas, C.J. Baxter and Bo Barnes. Just wanted to get your take on those two and what you think they can do to impact the program.
Sure. Well, I'm sure you know them personally as well, but both phenomenal people, number one. I've been very impressed with CJ just from a mentality standpoint, what he's brought to our offense, a veteran leadership, a guy that's played at a really high level, obviously dealt with some injuries, but something I'm really excited about. Running back is a core position on our team. The best teams I've been on have been able to run the football, and so excited about him, what he's bringing, not only on the field but off the field. Then Bo's got, crazy talent. He's got the height, weight, speed for the position. I think it's just a matter of building him up, giving him belief that he can go out there and play at a high level, and been very pleased with Jay Bateman, my defensive coordinator, what he's been able to do with our backers, which is a younger core, but I think very talented. So both have done a tremendous job so far, and looking forward to see what they do for us this fall.
Coach will go to our immediate right and just on the aisle.
Well, they're going to go to the immediate right. Like I said, we don't do the entirety because in the main room they talk forever. And I know everyone doesn't understand how SEC Media Days have their setup. There's the E room and the main room. We do the main room because I want to hear the coach's opening statement. It gives you insight into what they think the top priority is, because they have all off season for the opening statement. Will Stein, Kentucky just gave you the longest opening statement, I think, in the history of SEC Media Day. He had a lot to say. This is the Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That is Charles Schwab. And you got to be asking yourself, how in the wide world of sports could Charles Schwab be local? Because we got Mark Sim, and he's right here in College Station. Look them up online. Go get your questions answered. Go learn more at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. SEC Media Days will roll on here on the Louie Bellina Show at 12:35. Brett Venables, OU. I'll be back. We got to wrap up our first hour together on a Tuesday.
The Houston Astros. Play in the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.